Chapter 20, Burning My Neighbor's Mail. When I was about 7 years old, my older brother David and his friend walked along the country road from my grandfather's farm to our farm one spring morning. It was a distance of about 3 miles and had adjoining farmers' mailboxes along the road every half mile. As they walked from my grandparents' home to ours, they began opening the mailboxes and collecting the mail that had been delivered that morning. By the time they arrived to our house, they had accumulated quite a bit of mail, most of which were bills and letters of importance. There was no junk mail in those years. I was sitting under the big cottonwood tree in the front yard when they arrived. They sat down beside me and showed me all the mail they had taken from the boxes. They had opened all the different envelopes, which was mostly bills, etc. They began to worry about what they were going to do with it. They decided to maybe take it all back and replace it. But with the envelopes opened and not knowing what bills went to whom and which boxes they had come from, they decided against the idea. I then suggested that they should burn it, lest Mom and Dad find out. And they find themselves in big trouble. The next part of the discussion centered around where we should burn it. I believed it was my idea that we should maybe go out to the field above our house and make campfires from the straw in the huge haystacks that was piled there to be used as winter bedding for our milk cows. Excuse me. My father had a prosperous dairy operation in those days of my growing up in St. Ignatius. Our first mistake was not building our campfires far enough away from the straw stack to avoid the dangers of a gust of a spring wind blowing the fires back into the stack. The idea was that we should mix the straw with our neighbor's mail to make our fires. I am not sure which campfire was the one that blew back into the stack from a sharp gust of wind. Trauma in my youth has a way of erasing the memory to protect your emotions. Today, that part is not important, although I would say that my brother David, who later would become an accountant, would have been the most careful between the two of us, even though he was the one that actually took the mail from the boxes, probably looking for invoices that needed payment. The friend of David, Clifton Anderson, was the son of Orville, famous violin craftsman, and Edna Anderson. Great people they were. All three of us became hysterical as we watched that stack of straw go up in a huge fireball. It probably resembled a nuclear test in Los Alamos, New Mexico. We took off running as far as we could from the house. Clifton wanted to run to his place, which was a half-mile away. David and I convinced him that we should hide in the hay shed. We had a little fort with tunnels in it made from the hay bales. When you are only 7 years old, you can't think straight under stress. We didn't consider that Mom would notice the ball of fire and plume of smoke 300 feet in the air and come looking for us. I was not worried about what she would do. And it was her infamous statement that I heard every week of my young life that always made me go weak in the knees. Wait till your father gets home. Well, the rest is history. I didn't get the horse I had been promised that year. Clifton got his first whipping of his life, and I believe David got away with only 2 stripes from the belt, screaming hysterically after the first one. It was Brad's idea. He talked us into it. I have so many great memories growing up in that beautiful valley, wonderful parents and the best siblings, and every day brings with it a new adventure. There is a picture of a fire. Not sure if it's the same one or just a fire. That's it.